Hey everyone, my name is Trace Busey, and in today's video I'll be discussing how to fish and the basics and what you'll need to get started in fishing. Fishing's been a part of my life. As a kid growing up on the Texas coast, I've fished for over 20 years. In fact, when I'm not in school, I actually fish tournaments with my dad and brother and um, part-time guide when I'm back home. So, you know, in this video, this video is going to be intended for anyone who is new to fishing or just getting into it, or if you're taking someone who's new to fishing. For example, if you're a dad taking their kid for the first time, or whatever the case is, maybe a friend who hasn't fished before, this is going to be a video to show you the basics and what gear you'll need and how to properly use it. So the way the video is going to work is I'm going to show you the gear necessary to get started in fishing, and then after that we'll go into a step-by-step of how to use the gear and how to properly target fish and show you the best ways to be successful in fishing. And then at the end I will show a video of demonstrating of how, once you actually hook a fish, how to fight it and how to take care of it and all that good stuff once you actually have caught the fish. So with that being said, thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so guys, so obviously the main part of fishing gear is the actual reel and pole itself. So first thing you'll need to do is get yourself a fishing reel and a fishing rod, as you see right here. This is my personal one. It's a bait caster, which means it has an open face right here with the line exposed and a thumb dial that you, holding your thumb lightly above the line, you control the drag and control the amount of line that comes out when you cast. There are other types. Some are easier to use, such as spinning rods and click buttons. But it's really just whatever's more comfortable for you. Then, obviously here is a plastic lure. It's a rubber. It's supposed to imitate a little bait fish. This is called an artificial lure. There are obviously a lot of people use natural bait, which if you're just getting to fishing probably would be the easiest way to go. You can use baits such as worms, bugs, small bait fish. Honestly, even a piece of bacon works good. Anything that'll appeal to a fish's sense of smell and look like a piece of free food for them. And then obviously the most important part, probably, you're going to need a hook and you're going to need line. Those are probably two key parts to fishing, because if you don't have either one of those, you're not going to catch very many fish. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to do is find the spot you want to fish at. Now, there's about three key things you want to look for when choosing where to fish. First thing is probably the depth of the water. For that, you'll need to do some research on the type of fish you're going after and what depth of water they tend to like to be in. Next, we want to look at is habitat. So you want to find something that will hold fish. For example, rocks, grass, you know, any type of branches that have fallen over from trees. Anything that could provide a home for fish to stay at is a good area to fish. And then your third thing you want to look for is bait, because fish want food, and you need to find an area that has a lot of bait fish, a lot of food, a lot of stuff that will attract fish to come to that area and feed. Now, obviously the optimal location would be somewhere with all three of these, but as long as you have an area that has two of the three, you will have a very successful area to fish in. Okay, so obviously with casting, Pretty simple. All you're going to do, these rod tips are very flimsy and very flexible for a reason. You want to use that momentum to carry your bait out into the water. So the way to do it for me is I like to think of an infinity sign. So you want to draw it back, draw it forward, draw it back, and then sling out. And you want to finish, if you had a clock, you want to finish with your rod tip facing to 12 o'clock. And the whole point to get the best distance and the best accuracy on your cast is to make sure that you release on the button before you, because you have to click this button down before you cast to release the line out. You want to make sure to release it about even with your nose, and that will shoot it straight on line and give you the furthest distance on your cast. All right, so guys, there's two main ways to fish. First way that I'm gonna be showing you today is with a lure, and the other way is with just bait. So there's two different ways to retrieve. The first way with an artificial lure, you want to imitate a wounded bait fish or just any free meal for these fish. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to cast it out, and you're going to slowly reel and pop the rod, and you're going to make that bait hop up and down off the bottom to imitate a wounded bait fish. Or some people do, they cast it out and they just slowly reel the fish back to imitate a swimming bait fish up in the water like a free meal. Now with bait, it's a lot easier and it's a lot simpler. You cast the bait out, you let it go all the way to the bottom, and then you just slowly keep the line tight, and as soon as you feel a hit, you set the hook and the fight is on. There's pros and cons to both. Fishing with lures, you're going to catch bigger fish, and you're going to catch more of the fish you are targeting. With bait, you will catch more fish overall, but a lot of those fish will be bycatch or the fish that you're not targeting. Honestly, some of them will be trash fish that will just wreck your gear and cause you problems most of your day. But if you're, like I said, if you're new to fishing and you just want to bend the pole and feel what it feels like to fight a fish, bait would probably be the easiest and best method to go with. Alright guys, so as you're going to see right here is my brother fighting himself a real nice redfish down in South Texas. What you want to notice first is how smooth he is with his actions. He's very calm and controlled up and down with the rod. Now what that's going to do is that's going to keep tension, and that's going to allow him to keep that hook securely lodged into the side of the fish's mouth. That's going to prevent the hook from becoming unbuttoned and then you obviously losing your fish. That's a very important thing when fighting a fish, is to make sure that line is tight at all times. But probably the second most important part is, stay calm and stay relaxed and let that fish do what he wants to do, because anytime you try and bulldog or horse that fish in, the only thing that you're ever going to do is you're going to end up trying to put too much pressure on it, and you're either going to break the line or you're going to pull the hook right out of the fish's mouth. So as you can see, he's real smooth. He's letting the fish take line when he needs it, and he's bringing it slowly and controlled up to him. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to grab your net, and you're going to want to dip net this fish, as he's about to do right here. What that's going to do is that's going to prevent, first off, a hook from going in your hand by trying to grab a fish while in the water. And the second is it securely has landed the fish. Okay, and what that's going to do is now, if you decide this is a fish you want to keep, now what you can do is you can put that fish back in the net after you show off with the camera right there, of course. Put it back in the net, and you can put on your stringer. And now what that's going to do is that's going to give you a fish that you can securely put on the stringer and keep for dinner. Alright guys, so hopefully you've learned a little bit about the basics of fishing and how to get started. And you know, fishing is something that it's not all about the fish you catch. Fishing is something that teaches you life lessons. It helps you experience the outdoors, and it also gives you an opportunity to make memories with your friends and family that will last a lifetime. I know I've made countless memories with my dad, my brother, and very, very close friends of mine that we will have the rest of our lives. And fishing is really something that you can use it as an escape. You know, the world's very stressful. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and fishing can be a way to escape all that. With that being said, there are some safety concerns, and there are some things you need to worry about or look for when you are fishing. First and foremost, you know, you gotta be legal. You need to have a fishing license, a valid fishing license in whatever state you're in. And then the second thing is these hooks are sharp, and when you're casting, that hook's moving very fast. So you need to make sure when you go to cast, there's no one around you that you could possibly hook when you cast. And probably the most important thing is once you actually catch a fish and you're handling the fish, that fish is going to be nervous, he's going to be scared, and so he's going to be flopping around, he's going to be, you know, kicking all around, making a bunch of commotion. So you want to be very careful in handling the fish and making sure that you get a secure grip on the fish and you take the hook out before you do anything else with the fish, because I've seen way too many times people go to handle the fish, they don't have a good grip on it, fish slips out and the hook goes right into their hand. That's not a trip you want to make to the hospital. So those are just a couple safety things to look for. But other than that, fishing is a great way to get in the outdoors, make great memories with friends, and just have a good time. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Have a good day.